What the hell? You're doing a video and then it just poof, it vanishes. Schmuckety schmuck schmuck. And then there are probably people over there right now waiting and watching, and they're like, it's frozen. I know what's happening. And I can't get back to the old video. So anyway, I'm gonna keep telling the story. So we're on the plane and we're a row behind the exit row, and these people in the exit row are all sitting there minding their own business. And the flight attendant comes down, and the flight attendant says, I'm gonna need y'all to move to this row in front of the exit row. And they're like, okay, what in the shish kebab is going on? I don't know. YouTube hates me. And the people, they swap seats. And I'm, of course, nosy. And my daughter, who's 16, is very against nosy. She's so annoyed after she thinks I'm the biggest Karen. And you know what? Maybe I am a Karen. But I am 50, and like, I've lived long enough. I can be nosy if I want to be. And so she's sitting in the aisle. And I'm like, got my nose and like whatever's, I'm like, what's happening over here? And the guy who was equally nosy sitting in front of my husband was like, he said they were drunk. And he was like, and good thing, because we're, in the exit row. And so everybody's minding their own business. Nobody's saying anything. You have an echo. Then go out, come back in. And then they come around with the drink cart. Oh, no, let me go back. So we're on the plane at 5:27. As soon as they moved the drunks to the row in front of the exit row, they killed the lights in the plane. I'm not kidding you. It was 5:27 p.m. Killed the lights. I mean, it went as dark, that dark. I mean, it was pitch freaking black. Do you mean the aisle seat when you say exit row? I know. I mean the exit row where we're going to all jump out of the door if there's a fire or something. Exit row. Dark. Like, why does it need to be dark at 5:27? Well, you know why? I know. Because the flight attendants are lazy and they want to not have to come get anybody. And it's verified later on. The flight attendant tells me this. So anyway, it's dark in there. I've got Amos, and then you've got this sound going. And the pilot's like, yeah, this is your captain speaking. We're just having a little trouble with the something something door. And the man who was talking about the drunks was like, well, maybe because they made us all put our luggage under the plane, they're having trouble shutting the door. And then I said, well, remember what happens if you sit on the exit row. The last time American Airlines had a flight like this, the freaking door got sucked out. And the man in front of me was like this. And like gave this horrified look, and I started dying laughing. So anyway, they get that under control. It's dark. Were you still at the gate? Were we still at the gate? Yes, we were at the gate before it went pitch black. Pitch freaking black. Pitch black. Hi, Grandma. Kiss my ass, Henry Sanchez. Now you're banned forever. It's like democracy at its finest. And so is hockey fan. I don't even know if hockey fan is bad, but captions are not available. Turn on. I can't turn on captions. I am not the captioner. Nope. Was Amos scared? No, shockingly enough, he was not scared. which is sort of awesome, right? And so we're in a pitch dark plane. Wait, was it already dark? It wasn't dark yet. This other flight attendant, she wasn't the drunk trying to get the people out for being a drunk flight attendant. She was the one that was like up high, up at the front of the plane going like this, because she was nosy too. She starts handing out earplugs. Could you put your windows up? Yeah, the windows were up. But I mean, it was dark outside. It was 5:27. But like, just because, like, let's say you live in Iceland and it's dark at 3 o'clock. Does that mean when you get in the plane has to be dark? It just seemed odd. So, thank you, Kathy. What was Amos doing? He was looking out the window, talking about the fact that it was dark. The flight attendant, before it went dark, she's walking around handing out not earplugs. What are they called? Earbuds. Earbuds. She's like, would you like some earphones or whatever they're called? And I was like, why? Why would we want those? Or I'm saying this to myself. And I said to Blair, why is she handing those out? And Blair, meanwhile, is like, Karen. Blair's like, so that you can use them to block out noise. Very pointedly, like it was directed at me. There were no screens on the plane, so you could like watch a movie. There wasn't even, remember how the old planes used to have, I kind of like this. They have the little radio in your arm thing. Like you put the little thing in there and then you could change it. There were like 9 stations, right? You could listen to jazz, rock, Christian, and like, oldies or something. None of that. So I have to ask the flight attendant, because, I'm me, why are you giving out these things? And she said, so you can listen with them. I said, listen to what? She was like, music. And I was like, but, and Blair, meanwhile, is like, basically has her like face in her shirt. I'm like, but do they have a flight tracker screen? No screen, no nothing. This was like 1982 on the airplane. I know, I love a Delta screen. I love Delta. Delta is great. I said, where is the music? She said, on your phone. I was like, wait, I can use this with this cord to my phone? Yeah, you just plug it in your phone. And I literally was like this. I was like turning. I had the phone upside down, up whack of ways, and was like, where am I putting this giant outlet into my phone? I mean, hello. Nowhere. It's dying. And she goes, well, maybe your phone doesn't have it. And my husband, who is like totally normal, was like, I don't think a phone has had that for like, I don't know, maybe like 12 years. He's sitting across. They're giving you a distraction. Yes, it was sneaky. There was a lot happening. I mean, a phone? And I was like, well, I'll have 2. Hold on. Let me get them out. Hold on, where are they? Let's see where I put them. There's so much happening. Are they in here? Let's see here. I hope I kept them. Yeah, here they are. Yeah, I wore them. I mean, I took them out of the frickin' thing and I put them on just to annoy my daughter. I mean, if you have a phone out there that can use this, you send me a message. I will send you these headphones. I mean, this is like bigger than my front tooth. American Airlines, no one can put this in their phone. It's done. It's not happening. So anyway, she's got, now I can't hear. There's an adapter. If you have an adapter. Okay, if you have an adapter for your phone to use this, then you would already have this, right? You're not buying an adapter. Most people have like AirPods, right? I mean, they were plenty nice. So anyway, so then it gets dark. It's 5:27, pitch black. You've got, I just got my headphones in and I have nowhere to put them. And Amos, my 12-year-old with autism, is talking about when he's going to get a Coke. He's never had Coke in his life, but he had a Coke. So we're all sitting there and the drink cart comes by and I'm like, great. This is great. Heidi, they work on your iPhone 12. Okay, well, send me a message and I'll mail you these if you need them. I'm going to get myself an adapter. So the drink cart comes by and the one person said, what's happening with that? The door noise. Well, the door noise finally just went away, I guess. I don't know. They were trying to close the door. It closed. Many newer phones have earbud jacks now. What? No, I just got an iPhone 17 Pro Max 2 days ago. It ain't got this in there. No. The drink cart's coming along. Amos is talking about how he's going to get a Coke. Amos never had a Coke in his life. He did order the Coke. He loved the Coke. He's awake right now because he drank the Coke. They gave us a whole freaking can. But, I mean, I only let him have like a fourth of it. But anyway. So, the lady says, with the drinks, she gets to the drunk row first. Remember the drunk row? The people that had been in the exit row that they made move forward. But they never said, like, we know you're drunk. You have to move up here. They just said, hey, we need you to move up here. You're so lucky. You're going to get earbuds and you're going to get to move to a more narrow row. Why has he never drunk Coke? I mean, who offers their children Coke for no reason? And the person orders a vodka tonic. And I was like, nosy Nelly, trying to like, are they going to get let me turn off this air conditioning. My parents' house basically is like the motel. We've got, this is fantastic. It's like a window unit, but it just goes in the wall. It's great. Oh, well. Why don't I turn it over there? It's off. Oh, I love it. Hang on. Okay. So the one of the drunks, one of the alleged drunk, orders a vodka tonic. And I was like, this is going to be great. They're going to get this vodka tonic. And the flight attendant, who looks like this, like that's her standing expression, like just looks annoyed. She's the one I knew that shut the lights. And she says, oh, this isn't any split unit. A split unit is like a mini split. That's fancy. This is literally a window unit that you cut into the wall. This predates the mini split. Why would you ever do a mini split if you can just toss a window unit? It's way cheaper to just toss that sucker in the wall. It just has to be on an outside wall. You would have acted like you were grooving to the music. Oh my God, Blair might have killed me. So she orders a vodka tonic, and the flight attendant, who, looks like this, is trying to whisper. But meanwhile, myself and then the guy that's behind them, who's the nosy Nelly too, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to bring you any alcohol. And the person's like, why not? She's like, yeah, we're just not going to be able to do that. But we have Coke and ginger ale and water and, blah, 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 blah. And the person's like, but I want a vodka tonic. And they're like, yeah, it's not going to happen. And they're like, well, why? And they're like, well, because when you got on the plane, it was noticed that you, the group of you, that you all had been drinking, and we were told not to give you any alcohol. And the guy who is sitting beside the vodka tonic woman is like, acts so horrified. He's like, she hasn't had, none of us have had anything to drink. And the person's like, well, I'm just the messenger. He's like, no one's been drinking. I'm like, I literally, if I didn't think my 16-year-old would have like clocked me upside the head with a shoe, I would have been like, you're ordering vodka tonics. Like, you didn't just, lo and behold, up and start on a vodka tonic at 5:30. You could have been like me. I ordered Merlot, and they bring you a bottle, and then you have to drink out of the bottle like it's a baby bottle. But I only ordered that after the people couldn't get the vodka tonic, because I wanted to see if they were going to let me have alcohol. What if somebody said I was drunk? I hadn't had anything to drink. Well, then I wanted Pinot Noir, but I got Merlot. And I have my bottle of Merlot. Amos has his Coke and my water. And then he decides he's going to sit on the floor, which is where he usually sits with his service dog. And he comes up under my tray table and my bottle of wine spills all over my daughter's chair, her seat. And it's like she's sitting in red wine. And I was like, oh God, it's going to be bad. And it's on her new sweatshirt, which I bought. I bought the sweatshirt. And it's on her shorts. And I have like 2 napkins that are basically like the size of, like, they're cocktail napkins that are like smaller than a dose of ringworm. I mean, they are tiny. Were they acting drunk? No, they didn't act drunk. So the wine's, anyway, so she's like, doesn't even want me to sop up the wine. But fortunately, she's at her grandparents' house where they keep something called Wine Away in their laundry cabinet. So it's already in the washing machine. So anyway, poor Blair. And then what happened? So I drank my wine. I spilled some of my wine. Oh, and then we land, and the pilot gets on again, and he's like, well, the gate's real full, so we'll be up there in like 5, 10, or 25 after. It was like a quarter till. So we had to sit on the plane. And then they said, but there's some people that have to make flights. Well, you know what happens when they say that. Everybody on the planet is like, I'm going to haul ass and get off this plane because I want to get off too. But I thought this was so smart of American Airlines. They were like, so if you have a flight you're connecting to in the next 20 minutes, raise your hand. And everybody's like this. Well, one, I thought about raising my hand. But again, I was scared of my daughter. But we're all like this. And I'm like, his hand's up. There's a hand up 6 rows back. I mean, we're looking because as soon as they say that, only let people that have a flight to make, you know what happens the next minute? Everybody stands up. And you're like, lies. They're all liars. So finally we get up to the gate and they're like, if we're not up to the gate, you need to stay in your seatbelt, remain seated. Meanwhile, Amos is like standing up, like switching with the air. I mean, I've given up. I'm like, you know what? If something happens so bad that you need to be in a seatbelt while you're 10 feet from the gate, like we're all toast anyway. So we get up there and they're like, ding. And it's like a mad dash. And you're like, I promise you, I don't think any of the people that had their hands up got up. But this one woman behind us, she gets up and she's like, excuse me, can I get through? I'm very scared of dogs. Well, then Amos is like, where are the dogs? He's looking around. And then he's like, that's a Chihuahua. I'm like, that is a corgi. That is not a dog. They're not service dogs. People can just pay to have dogs. So now you have people on planes that are terrified of dogs and they're like all around. And I said, so she's like hauling ass up the aisle. And I'm like, there's a bigger dog up there. What? Being scared of dogs doesn't like occur to me, especially a service dog, though this was a Chihuahua corgi, as Amos said. Okay, here he comes. My boys each got $950 in flight credit tonight. Yes, because they're getting here 2 hours after us, which is pretty worth it. I know my son Thomas, he's dying to go skiing, so now he's going to find a free place to stay. He'll be out there in a skinny minute. But anyway, finally, we're all getting off the plane. We didn't check any bags, which is new to us. But when you don't check bags, the problem is you all have a suitcase. Well, Amos and Blair, are weak and can't lift up suitcases. So Thomas and I are like wrestling suitcases and backpacks. And then I've like gone on and on about how nobody's allowed to check a bag. Well, I can't get all my stuff in a bag that's not checked. So I have my check bag, and then I have all the rest of my stuff scattered amongst their 5 suitcases. So anyway, we're getting all that stuff out. We get out of the plane. Amos has got his suitcase, and he's had a part of a Coke, and he pulls the suitcase. And he has a genetic disorder and autism, and he loves to fly, and he loves an airport, and he was just as smiley and perky as could be. I mean, he would be like, and I see a pickle, and pickles are made from cucumbers soaked in spices, water. I mean, he just was chitty chat, talking. So, when you get off the plane, you kind of go straight, and then you have to look at and figure out, like, am I going left or right? And we were going to go left. But he doesn't he kind of like moves like a ghost, sort of, an autistic ghost. And sent a gift, a makeup brush. Oh, so nice. He kind of steps into this, out of this corner of my eye, but I'm so used to the way he moves. Like, he doesn't follow social etiquette norms. Like, he didn't run into anybody. I mean, he could by accident. But he just had the suitcase, and he was trying to read stuff and look at the pickles, and like, he had a lot going. He had a Coke, a lot going on. Well, I hear in like the very far reaches of my mind, because I'm like, come on, Amos. So I'm about 10 feet ahead. I hear this. He swerves. Watch where you're going. In like a pretty like, I will say evil voice. And I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to talk about a Karen for a minute. Young, white, blonde, clearly no children, in her 20s, you know, decked out in like a fancy sweatsuit, tells my autistic 12-year-old, watch where you're going. Do you know what Amos said to her? I promise you, I am not making this up. He says, well, he gets upset. You cannot ever raise your voice at him because it upsets him. So this is when, this is really what I heard. I can't even say it this loud. Because she says it and you can like, I could just hear it. He yells, watch where you're going, fuck rat. No, watch where you're going, you fuck rat, is what he said. I have not heard him say the F word in well over a year. I marched back there and I said, you know, I hope you feel good about yourself. He has a genetic disorder and autism, and you can't be patient for a minute for a child that is just excited to be at the airport. And she went, and I said, seriously, way to go. She goes, something, okay, bitch. And I said, no, let me tell you something. How would you like to do a live interview with my 1 million followers? Would you like that? Call me bitch again and I'll start the video. And she went like this. I said, that's what I thought. Come along, Amos. We're not going to be with mean women who are not nice to children with disabilities. And he said, fuck rats. I promise you. These women that were around were, I thought this one group of women, I thought they were going to pee on themselves. They were dying laughing. Even my daughter, who was mad at me, was like, did he just call her a fuck rat? I was like, yes, he did. And she was like, we were all laughing. Fuck rat. I hope that woman, like, went home tonight and then I said to her, I've got you on camera. Like, I had like AI glasses on and it caught her. It makes me wish I had those meta glasses though. I mean, how awesome a video would that be? Bitch. No, I didn't get her picture. I was afraid my daughter, my 16-year-old, does not like all this. I don't look for problems. I promise you, I do not look for problems. They find me. But then we rode the Sky Train, and that was exciting. And then we got in a cab, and we got here. Watch where you're going. Watch where you're going, you fuck rat. And he talks kind of jilted like that. I mean, you just can't. I mean, you just know if you're out and there's like a 12-year-old that like kind of runs into you, maybe he doesn't have good balance. You know, what did Thomas do? Well, Thomas and Blair were like already way up there and they were like waiting by the curb. I think when they saw me go back and start, they didn't hear what she said. They heard me yelling at her. And no, I didn't get her picture. And I said, do you know what she just said to him? And what he said back. And they started laughing. And we just kept going. And that's the end of the flying story. I mean, I just can't imagine ever telling a child to watch where they're going. Like maybe an 18-year-old on a cell phone who like ran you over with their skateboard. But like, how can you how can you do that? Can you imagine if your boys would have been with you? I usually blame myself. We all need t-shirts to say that. Well, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I'm glad he stood up for himself too. Yeah. You know what? Like, good for him. I wonder if he thought she called him that. Watch where you're going. Like, maybe he misunderstood her and he just said it back. Because what he does is he repeats things that somebody says to him. Yeah, I mean, it was just totally unnecessary. If I hadn't had my family there with me, I'm telling you, I could make a spectacle. And normally, like, my feelings are hurt, so I don't know what to say. But my feelings were not hurt because I was so just delighted in what he had said. So that, like, gave me bravery. As a side note, did you also reinforce that his language could have been different? No. I absolutely did not and never, ever would reinforce that. No. He has not used the F word in a year, and he knows that the F word is to be used when people are assholes. So no, I'm so glad he knows how to use that word. Fuck rat. Yep. Fuck rat. Maybe I will make some t-shirts. But you can't write that on a shirt. It'd have to be like F star star C K rat. Where did he get it from? I don't know. Maybe she called him a brat and he thought she said fuck rat. Now that is true. That might be what she said. Brat. Watch where you're going, brat. Watch where you're going, brat. What if that is what she said? Oh my God. I don't know what she said. Well, anyway, I bet that is what she said. Anyway, if you need daily fun in your life, come be a YouTube member. If you're watching this video and like it, double click it to like it. For $5 a month, you can have daily coffee chats, and we're all full of fun things. And I also have it on Facebook too, but I do these big videos on YouTube. But we will have coffee chat tomorrow morning with my peeps. We're at my parents' house. Always a delight to get my mother on. And we're getting ready to go. It's going to be a very exciting week of content. We're going on a family sailboat trip. Yes, sirree, Bobby, we are. 8 of us. Ages 12 to 79. How can you get by with saying that repeatedly on social media? I don't know. Are there rules on YouTube about bad language? I don't usually use it. I'm using it to tell a story. Carry on. Need some of your dad on video. Oh, we'll get my dad on video. A member video only. He cannot go on the big, great big page like this. He's not reliable enough. Goodbye. Good night. Happy boxing.